Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Record fires are raging in Brazil's Amazon rainforest, with more than 2,500 fires currently burning. They're collectively emitting huge amounts of carbon, with smoke plumes visible thousands of kilometers away. The Mind Unleashed reports that the fires in Brazil increased by 85% in 2019, with more than half in the Amazon region, according to Brazil's space agency. The sudden increase is likely down to land degradation. Land clearing and farming reduces the availability of water, warms the soil, and intensifies drought, combining to make fires more frequent and more fierce. The growing number of fires are the result of illegal forest clearing to create land for farming. Fires are set deliberately and spread easily in the dry season. The desire for new land for cattle farming has been the main driver of deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon since the 1970s. The massive decline of insect populations in recent years is an environmental crisis that's often overlooked. And by all indication, it seems that pesticides are largely to blame for the problem. However, researchers are currently developing alternatives that can hopefully protect crops for farmers without causing widespread harm to insect populations. According to Truth Theory, biopesticides are derived from natural materials like plants, bacteria, and certain minerals. These substances are not harmful to the environment and also pose less risk to insects. Some biopesticides are not even harmful, but just work to repel certain insects from the area, while others only target specific insects in a limited range. One of the most interesting recent developments in the field of biopesticides is the use of fungi. Fungus-based pesticides would still kill the insects that attempt to feast on the crops, but it would not be a toxin that gets into the environment, which reduces the widespread exposure to plant, animal, and insect life. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Well, today was an historic occasion in Pennington.
That's right, Diane. The entire town turned out to honor Paul Webster, the area's one gay man, with Pennington's first ever Gay Pride Parade. Paul, a 33-year-old hardware store owner, was too shy to ask for a parade, but that didn't stop almost 2,000 residents from showing their support for his homosexuality. Mayor Sue Hallinan organized the parade and even chipped in some of her own money to pay for decorations.
Well, I was channel surfing one day and I came across a program about the Gay Pride. Next time I went to the hardware store, I said, Paul, we're going to throw you a parade. And he just said, oh, please don't do that. I don't want that. I beg you. He just didn't want us to go to the trouble.
He doesn't want to ride on the penis float. He gets motion sickness, so we're going to have him hold the reins instead.
And Penningtonians have already decided on a fairy tale theme for next year's parade.
Oh, that'll be great.
And if Paul has a boyfriend, they can both be dressed up as kings.
Terrific idea.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Talk about whatever is on your mind. Give us a call using our toll-free number. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
I'm Ian.
And Derrick J.
Welcome back to the studio, Derrick J. You were just telling us a really fascinating story. I would love
He
to
just started.
hear it.
We said, hold on, we got to talk about this on the air, because longtime listeners know that Derrick J has had a bit of a history with the police, as many of us have in the Keene area.
And if you want to know about that history, you can go to victimlesscrimespree.com, which I watched recently.
You're new to that, right?
Yes, it's a terrific movie.
You hadn't seen it until this year.
Correct. Yeah, just like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
It was
Loved
fantastic.
it.
I got arrested 5 times in the movie, recorded it all. It was a lot of fun.
And you've been trying to put it behind you as well.
I have. Yeah, no, I've been filing court documents to get this all wiped off my record and be an upstanding citizen. But, I was at work yesterday, and I saw 2 cop cars, drive up in a hurry. The SUVs. They didn't have their lights on.
And this is in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where you live now.
Portsmouth, New Hampshire, outside of my office, and two cop cars. First one pulls up and it stops real fast. Guy gets out and he doesn't even pull into a parking space or anything. He's just kind of out in the middle of the road. I'm like, what's going on? Boy. But then a second one pulls up right in front of him and gets out just as fast. And I'm thinking, ooh, what's going on? Better check it out.
Right. Grab the video camera.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't even grab the video camera. I just stepped out.
Rusty.
Right, I should have. I had my audio recorder going, as I always do.
All right,
but
that counts.
Yeah, so I step out and I check out what's going on, and there's nothing going on. I look down the street, nothing over there. Look left, look right. None of the cops are looking around, and they go to my friend's car, and I'm just like, okay. So then one of them comes up to me and he says, hey, did you see a fight? I was like, no. Yeah. Well, he was like, was there a fight? I said, no. Oh, well, maybe there was. I didn't see one. He's like, all right. Well, you know who owns that car over there? I was like, yeah, it's my friend's car. He asked me for some quarters. We were just there a minute ago feeding the meter.
Is this the middle of the day?
Middle of the day. Okay. It's probably it's 4:30 p.m. Still sunny, clear day, and I'm thinking, man, I didn't hear any fight. I didn't see anything. What's going on? Is there, because sometimes there's some riffraff over on one side of the street. So I figure it's, some homeless person causing a ruckus or, something. And he's like, how old are you? And I was like,
That's a weird question.
I clam up. I'm like, my heart starts pounding because, now I'm thinking I'm the subject of an investigation. What's going on here? And he says, how old are you? And I'm like, a frog's in my throat, and he's looking at me.
You have the typical prey reaction to being sought after by a predator.
Well, because first I'm out on the door looking like, hey, what's going on? Is there, something going on? And then I realize, they're looking for me. Well, what's going on? Why are you asking my age? So I just clam up and I sort of shake my head, and I'm thinking like, what do I say? There's all these police videos where it says, you say, I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions.
That's always a good response.
Or like, do I say, am I the subject of an investigation or am I suspected of having committed a crime? But in this case, he was like, well, we're just talking, we're just talking. and I don't say anything. And he's like, well, you don't want to talk? And I was like, no. And so then the other cop comes over. And so I'm sort of cornered in this doorway. And he's looking at me like I have 50 heads or something. The other cop who comes over looks at me like something is really strange about me and this situation. The other cop is normal, totally calm. And so he says, well, we got a call that someone had a gun. And I wear a gun on my hip. I have every day for about 10 years.
Right.
And
you're wearing it right now.
Yeah, this is my office. So I'm constantly walking around this street wearing a gun.
It's New Hampshire. You can do that.
Totally normal.
Yeah.
And so he had seen it. I was open carrying. It wasn't concealed at all. And I'm wearing a white dress shirt, tucked in, brown belt, brown shoes. I'm a professional, you know. And he's like, well, we got to call someone had a gun. And I was like, oh, look, my name is, I gave my full name. I was like, this is my address. I live in Portsmouth and I'm 30 years old. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, we have to come when people call. And so then he started to get a little bit apologetic. Like, he didn't want to be seen as infringing on my rights, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
This is like Portsmouth, New Hampshire is not far from Massachusetts. If this happened in Massachusetts or the state where you're listening, probably you would have been super under arrest.
Yeah, you'd definitely be under arrest if you had a gun on your hip in Massachusetts.
This would be adjudicated. There'd be a jury trial.
If you had a bullet around your neck on like a chain, you'd get arrested in Massachusetts.
Well, I was about to go to the shooting range, so I was like planning on, the cop, he didn't apologize, but his attitude was apologetic and sort of like excusing himself. Like, hey, he said several times, we have to come when people call. I was like, it was probably someone from Massachusetts. They got freaked out. It's a tourist town. So he was like, well, we don't know who called. He's like, well, we don't know who called, but, you're allowed to have
He doesn't know, but the dispatch knows.
Anyway, he said, look, you're allowed to have a gun, and he didn't go any further. He didn't ask for an ID. He didn't ask for anything. I mean, he could see, like, wait, someone called the cops on this guy? Like, what the hell? This is a professional-looking dude with the tiniest gun on the planet. This is a Ruger LCP-2, for those who know. It's a little 380. It's like the smallest possible. Small. It's like a cell phone. And so it's clearly just for personal defense. It's not like I'm walking around with a big rifle on my back about to shoot up the town.
Well, even if you were, that's legal in New Hampshire.
That is, yeah, that would be fine too. But at least there would be a reason for a tourist to say like, oh dear, what's going on here? But this is not. So I just wanted to tell you guys, I didn't like make a big scene about it. I didn't do a blog post to tell people that the cops came, but
it was relatively non-eventful.
It's non-eventful, but the good thing about it is the attitude that the cops had in New Hampshire, that they are respectful of the Second Amendment or a person's right to self-defense with a firearm, that they didn't press any further, they didn't ask more questions, oh, are you a felon, or do an investigation. They were just like, oh, dude has a gun, that's okay with us.
Let's move on
that's
to
fine.
the next call.
Yeah, let's go to something real.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon interaction in New Hampshire for somebody who's bearing arms with, exercising their rights. Frequently, it is somebody from Massachusetts who calls in because a lot of them come up north to shop, right? Like the Massachusetts people want to save money, so they come to New Hampshire and they get tax-free retail shopping. And when they see guns, they get all nervous and they call the police. And then when the cops show up, in some cases, if they ever ask you anything else, it's usually like, well, what kind of gun is that? And that's just genuine curiosity on their part because they're into guns. So
the people in Massachusetts haven't realized that there's probably some sort of correlation between not having a sales tax and people open carrying.
Is there? What's the correlation?
Liberty?
Yeah.
I mean, the right to defend yourself, the right to not be taxed by the state, kind of go hand in hand.
If only it was consistent. Unfortunately, the rooms and meals tax is higher in New Hampshire than it is in Massachusetts.
Is it?
Yeah, so you don't want to come to New Hampshire to go out to eat if you're in Massachusetts. You just want to shop.
I don't know. We've got pretty good restaurants.
It's true.
Well, I don't know. It would get my heart pumping whenever cops like start cornering you and asking you questions. It's like, this could have gone horribly wrong. And short of like complimenting them, I just want to say like that was not a bad job, not a bad attitude.
It could have been worse.
They could have been so much worse, and there would have been no consequences if they had been worse. But I think I was treated the way they would want to be treated. So kudos.
Well, I'm glad to hear it didn't get worse, and
likewise,
kudos to that.
Yeah, it's good training, and there were activists in New Hampshire, like Free Staters, like Dave Ridley, who have been stopped for open carrying maybe 10 years ago.
Yep.
And it did go differently. The cops were pretty intimidating, and I think because of interactions like his, they've been trained. They've had experiences with people open carrying, and they learned that the best method is to just leave them alone. That's the best thing to do.
The Ridley incident did happen in Manchester, and the cops in Manchester are sort of notorious for being a little nastier than some of the other cops. I mean, think about your experiences there. You had that cop pop your door open once in Manchester. Very, very rude.
Yeah.
And that same cop actually ended up arresting Chris Wade, who's one of our co-hosts on Friday, for just crossing the street. So, by no means do we have liberty here, but it turns out Chris Wade's going to end up getting a settlement from the city of Manchester.
No way,
from what
that's
I understand.
great.
I don't think I can say anything more about that, but it's pretty good news.
Boy, that's terrific.
Because it was definitely an illegal arrest.
More coming up in just a moment. Johnson & Johnson has been ordered to pay almost more than $500 million to the state for the opioid crisis. 855-450-3733.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
In order to more accurately portray the risks of smoking, the FDA has approved putting a picture of Trish on the cover of all cigarette packs. Clinical trials suggest that images of diseased organs, corpses, and deformed infants all prove less effective than a single photograph of Trish smiling. Smokers can expect to see the graphic campaign as early as next month, paired with a simple line of text that reads, "Cigarettes cause Trish." In Science News, a new study finds that every style of parenting inevitably produces disturbed and miserable adults.
Despite a great variance in parenting styles across populations, from overprotective to permissive, the end product is always the same, a profoundly flawed and joyless human being.
One bright note of the study, adults can find temporary happiness when they're able to perpetuate the cycle of human misery by having children. In other news, the Pulitzer Board adds a giant pumpkin category, and a local man's utter failure in life is a bit of a sore spot. For more news, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Talk about whatever is on your mind. 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Ian, and Derrick J.
And I want to tell you about local.bitcoin.com because Bitcoin.com has launched an awesome trading platform. We finally have a trading platform that respects people's privacy. All messages between buyers and sellers are end-to-end encrypted. The keys for the chats are deleted after 7 days, so nobody's keeping records of what you're doing, why you're doing it, who you're doing it with. There's absolutely no KYC, that's Know Your Customer requirements, to sign up for the site. You can get started buying and selling Bitcoin Cash in just minutes using PayPal, Venmo, remittances, bank transfers, bank deposits, and dozens of other payment methods. Go check them out at local.bitcoin.com. to get started trading Bitcoin Cash.
You are, by the way, their #1 seller.
Yeah.
Wow. In the world? World.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's
you and
awesome.
this other Chinese guy that are like neck and neck.
Well, I'm the only one who has passed 200 trades.
Yeah.
So
he's close, though.
He is close. Well, some of mine were rolled back recently. Or erased, rather, because they can't be rolled back.
But you guys aren't even selling to the same market because a lot of the people in China, like for instance, I tried buying with one of the Chinese payment methods, and they just won't even take cards from the U.S., so I can't buy from the Chinese sellers.
Yeah, he's absolutely the top seller in the East.
Yeah.
And
Are
I'm
you
the
guys
top
friends?
seller. No, I've never spoken with him.
Why not?
That's a great question.
You can message people on this platform, right?
Well, yes.
You have to open a trade, I think, to
which I feel like would be kind of disingenuous. He may, in fact, be in the Telegram server because local.bitcoin.com has one. They have a Telegram group. He may be in there. I don't know.
You guys should battle or go to a Pokemon gym and duke it out or something.
I wholeheartedly endorse this.
Yeah.
That would be epic. Or we could play like Doom again. Not Doom. I don't know why I said Doom.
You just play as many trades as you can get. Like you got to out trade him. Always. So you're in the lead.
She's got it,
right?
Yeah, she's got
it. Okay.
yeah.
By how much?
Right now between 5 and 8 is what I'm ahead.
You're in single digits ahead. That's not a serious lead.
It's a close.
Well,
lead.
it's about 5%.
He's going to overtake you tonight.
It's about 5%. No, he's not because local.bitcoin.com has been banned in China.
Oh.
So I win by default.
So there's no way.
Well, he's still getting.
He is still,
sales.
but it's like trickled down. But so is mine.
Yeah, as long as you've got a VPN, if you're in China, you can probably still get on the site.
That's true, but it's going to be harder. For
It will
them.
be. It will be.
So,
wow. That's fascinating.
Great site. Local.bitcoin.com.
I mean, for some perspective, when I was at like 150, he was at like 170.
Mm-hmm.
So
you passed him.
I caught up with him and passed him, and then was so far the only seller to top 200 trades so far.
Yep. It's still a brand new site. I mean, it's only been around for a couple months so far.
Yep.
Oh, so Aria's feed is not that impressive.
Well, I think it is. I mean, given the site is brand new, she's been pretty busy over there. So let's talk about drugs.
Absolutely. Well, bad drugs. It would turn out opiates.
Oh.
Well, I mean, they're good for some people in certain circumstances, right? Like, there's a reason why they exist for pain management.
Sure, but that's probably a very small percentage of the amount of usage they've actually gotten here in the United States.
For a lot of people, that's where it starts. So they'll get a pain prescription from their doctor, and then while they're taking this at doctor's orders, they become addicted to it. The doctor then says, well, you're out of your refills. Have a nice day. And then they still want the hydrocodone or whatever it was that they were getting, and that's when they go into the black market to try to find it.
Now, I heard a stat, and I don't know how true this is, but it sounds true to me. What do you guys think? So it was measured in like 1900 that about 3% of the American population were addicted to drugs. And that's when there was no war on drugs. Now, it was measured again in the year 2000, and can you guess what the number was for number of people addicted?
I thought it was 1% and 1%, but it would be 3%.
It was 3% again. Yeah, exactly the same, no change at all. Right. And so, with all this war on drugs and like all these people have access to these opioids and the doctors are pushing them on them. And I think it's people who are going to get addicted to stuff are going to get addicted to stuff, no matter what it is. And people who aren't.
The bored housewife is going to be bored whether or not the drugs are legal or illegal.
I don't know to what extent that's true because I've been addicted to opiates before. And I have no issue drinking and not drinking or doing all sorts of other addictive type behaviors or activities that haven't formed an addiction despite, a decade of doing them.
Yeah.
But
so you think there's something different about opioids?
Well, I also smoke cigarettes. So I would say that it has to be a very strong chemical dependency that is created in order for me to form the addictive habit to go along with it.
I think you're just one of those people who's going to be addicted to stuff, no matter what it is. You got cigarettes, you had opioids.
That's two things
you're
out
one of
the
people.
Thousands of different things I've done.
Yeah, but you're one of the... oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. And then probably more than 3% of the population smokes cigarettes.
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah, so that can't be right.
Well, okay, so I think that there's a difference between someone who has an addictive sort of habit and somebody who can feed the habit, right? Like you can afford your cigarettes. You don't have to go and rob somebody at knife point in order to get money to buy cigarettes.
No, she chooses to, but she doesn't have to.
I don't choose to rob people at knife point. Let me just...
Oh, okay.
But there's certain people who are so addicted to a thing, and especially when the thing is illegal, that they will go way above and beyond what is, okay to do to acquire the thing that they want. And so I think that level of addiction is a much more kind of a dangerous level of an addiction. And so that may be what they were talking about with like the 3%. Like the 3%, and I feel like I remember Law Enforcement Against Prohibition was the group that was promoting those numbers. I feel like it was 1%, but either way, we're still talking about a very small number of people. The point that statistic was supposed to make was that percentage were the people that were like so addicted that they are lost, that they could not, they're just completely lost to that addiction, that kind of level of addiction, not just like somebody who smokes a cigarette a bunch of times a day and can still function.
Well, even when I was addicted to opiates, I was never rob a bank to get high or rob a drug dealer kind of addicted. It was, I'm going to spend more money than I should on this, but not going to rob anyone to do it. It was, in fact, losing money that caused me to go, okay, I'm done. And
really? It was the money.
Yeah, I mean, thousands of dollars a week.
Yeah, sure.
It's an expensive.
Wow.
It's an expensive addiction.
Wait, for heroin?
No, I never progressed to heroin.
Okay,
I refused
because heroin's pretty cheap. You could have saved a lot of money.
Yeah, and could have been permanently addicted and probably, smacked out in the alleys of Mississippi. Opiates, Lortabs, Percocets.
I mean, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, but it's like more manufactured, right? It comes from a company.
True.
Yeah, like Johnson & Johnson here.
There's no Johnson & Johnson heroin, right?
Nope.
Like they don't make straight heroin.
Not today.
No, but if there was, there would be significantly fewer heroin-related deaths.
From what I understand, there used to be. Like if you look up like heroin at the local pharmacy or just do a quick web search for that, I think you can see from the early 1900s that you could go down to your local pharmacist and pick up a bottle from like Bayer.
Yep.
Well, it's not fair to say that, heroin has no medicinal benefits either. It does just as much as the Percocets and the Lortabs do. I don't know what those medicinal purposes are. I imagine just
pain relief,
pain mitigation.
It would have been administered in, hospital environments in the same way that like morphine might be administered today, as I understand it. I'm not a doctor.
But we're going to get into how Johnson & Johnson has been ordered by the courts in Oklahoma to pay more than $500 million because of their contributions.
I am giving away $100 in Bitcoin Cash on September 2, 2019. And I'm not giving it away because I like giving away money, quite the contrary. It's because I need a favor. Please go to demo.freetalklive.com and fill out the survey there as thoroughly as you like. There's an optional email slot, and if you put your email in there, you will forever be signed up for whatever prize I'm giving to incentivize people that month to fill out my form. Advertisers need this info on our listeners, so fill it out as truthfully as you can, please. Demo.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm gonna tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm gonna tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight is Aria.
I'm Ian.
Derrick J.
And Derrick J, tell us about AnyPay, because you're involved with AnyPay, right?
I'm the co-founder, yeah.
Right.
And
Just a little bit. So tell us about it.
Well, if you are listening and you operate a small business, or you're friends with a small business owner, or maybe you just love Bitcoin and you want to spend it in your retail, in your local environment, helpmetakebitcoin.com is the website you need to know, because that is going to give you and anyone who goes to it a free way to accept Bitcoin in under 5 minutes. It's so simple. You follow the 1, 2, 3 steps, helpmetakebitcoin.com. You can take Bitcoin, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, Zcash, all the popular cryptocurrencies that you're going to want to take. There's no paperwork, no ID verification. It's just an easy app that you can use at your store to take Bitcoin.
Awesome. Now, I use it as well.
I used it today at a local store in Keene.
Corner
a little
News.
like Corner News shop. I bought some water that I'm drinking here today.
One of the original Bitcoin accepting places. I mean, there weren't too many places back in 2013 that were taking Bitcoin, but Corner News.
Corner News is like a staple in Keene, aren't they?
They've been around for more than 100 years. Yeah,
it was a lot harder to take Bitcoin for them in 2013. Yeah, but now it's super easy. Yeah. It's under 5 minutes. You can do it.
Yeah,
to get it set up.
Yeah, and free.
Oh yeah, I was there when we set up Roach when he was vending at Forkfest back in June. I mean,
right.
I'll bet he was skeptical. And he's a crypto user. He was probably skeptical how easy it was going to be, but actually it was surprising,
so
right?
Yeah, it took definitely less than 5 minutes.
Now you can just do it through the app. You can just download the AnyPay Take Crypto app. I think it's called AnyPay Retail.
Crypto for Retail.
Crypto for Retail, and you just load the app up, and you can just do everything right from inside the app now. So it's
easy,
super easy.
That is awesome. So Johnson & Johnson, right? Evidently, they make some sort of opiates.
Who knew? I just thought they were made shampoo or whatever.
I thought they just made like baby shampoo. Right. I mean, not even like normal human adult shampoo. This is the don't make your baby cry thing or whatever.
No tears.
So an Oklahoma judge on Monday ordered Johnson & Johnson to pay over $572 million to the state. Let's be clear on that.
Ching.
For pushing doctors to prescribe opiates while downplaying the risks of addiction, actions that state prosecutors said helped fuel the state's opiate epidemic and led to more than 6,000 deaths over nearly 2 decades. I don't think that accusation is fair. What led to those 6,000 deaths was going to be the drug war and the fact that they couldn't just go to the pharmacy to buy more.
Right. Yeah, but the state's not going to take any responsibility for that.
No. And that they couldn't buy any of the opiates without the acetaminophen because that's what kills people.
What? Fill me in. I'm clueless. Acetaminophen, that's in Tylenol, right?
It is.
It is, yeah.
But the types of addictions we're dealing with, I was taking like 80, 100 milligrams of Lortabs a day, which was about 4,000, 5,000 milligrams of acetaminophen.
So in English, that's what?
It's like 2 to 3 times the normal daily dosage. It's double the amount of the
would it be
don't take more than this in one day thing.
Okay,
right?
That's not a big deal. I've done that. I mean, come on, but it's not like downing a whole bottle of this
opiate
stuff.
users do it day after day after day.
Oh, okay.
It absolutely destroys their liver. This is why
it's bad for their liver, right? It gets processed through that. You're not supposed to drink when you have Tylenol.
Right. This is why cold water extractions are a thing.
I don't know what that is.
It's a method of extracting the acetaminophen and getting it out so that you just have
like drug users who are like heavy heroin users and stuff like that. They
well, the heroin users wouldn't have to because a heroin generally wouldn't.
Oh, it doesn't have
it.
acetaminophen. Okay.
Right, but the ones manufactured by drug companies will.
Well, and with heroin, you're dealing with other adulterants that may be present, and you don't know what they are.
So the Oklahoma Attorney General Mike Hunter claimed in court that the sales push.
But before you go on, the reason why that happens is because of the black market. Because the black market dealers are cutting their product. Fentanyl, I guess, is a popular thing. I'm not sure if that's a cutting agent or if it's just something they're marketing as heroin. I'm still not clear what exactly goes on with
I don't think it's a cutting
fentanyl.
agent. I think it's like a relative that's 100 times stronger than heroin.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a friend who died from that. He was a heroin user pretty regularly.
Jeez.
And, it was sad. He was just going out looking for some pot, right? And then the pot dealer wasn't around. This is the war on drugs for you. So he was like, well, I'll go to my old habit. And then that ended up being way stronger than he remembered because it's now cut with the fentanyl. And he overdosed.
That's tragic. I'm pretty sure that's what killed one of my ex-girlfriends in Mississippi. Because she had been doing heroin for a long time, then suddenly she's dead. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
Overdose is certainly possible, but being laced with fentanyl is more likely.
Yeah.
Based on everything we've heard within the last few years. But evidently, Johnson & Johnson has been trying to push sales of opiates, which automatically should raise alarm bells for just about anyone, I would think. Well, how would we feel if there was a company out there, advertising for heroin or methamphetamine?
Fine.
Wouldn't bother me.
It wouldn't bother me.
Buyer beware.
Either. But see, we're weird.
No, I think we're totally normal. It's the doctors who are the ones who are ultimately pushing it. Aren't they the ones prescribing this stuff?
They are,
So, I mean, but you can't take all the money from all the doctors. The state is just like, who's got all the money? And who, here's a single target with a ton of money. Let's just target them. We can't go and round up every single doctor who prescribed this stuff and push it on someone who died. So that would be way too much work.
Sure.
And they don't have all that money to take.
Right. So they get the money and they get the headlines, and now they get to act like, look, we're doing something. We're helping people.
Nothing like doing something.
Yeah, but
everyone
ultimately,
demands that.
This is just the state receiving a $500 million bribe to turn the other way.
This money is not going to go to the families of the people who have dead dead relatives or anything like that. This money is going to go into the coffers of the state. They're going to use it to do more enforcement.
Granite hammer.
Right. Well, that's what one of the enforcement programs is what they called here in New Hampshire. But things like that, where they're going to take this money, they're going to give it to the drug task force, they're going to give it to police departments, they're going to do whatever they want to do with it, and it's not going to benefit anybody. And the worst part about this is this opens up I presume they're going to appeal this, but if this ruling is upheld, it's going to open up a very dangerous, future for these drug companies.
Well, not just the drug companies. This opens up gun makers to be liable for mass shootings.
That's it's a very scary ruling because it basically says that the company is responsible for the way people use its products.
Yikes.
That's true. I hadn't considered that implication. It's certainly a concern.
Yeah.
So the Johnson & Johnson obviously denied any wrongdoing, and its attorney, John Sparks, said that state prosecutors have misinterpreted the public nuisance law, having previously limited to disputes involving property or public spaces. So it seems that what they went after them for was causing a public nuisance by convincing...
Like a loiterer.
Yeah, but under any...
like the bum that you don't want hanging out in front of your shop. That's
who is
what they're
probably
saying.
addicted to opiates because the doctors gave them to him.
So if you're against the war on drugs, it sounds like it's about to get a lot worse because they just got a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And they just misplaced blame for who's actually doing the harm.
It could get a lot worse, especially if the company... I mean, I don't think this is going to happen immediately, but because, again, they're going to likely appeal this, I presume, to the Supreme Court.
Oh, and what hope do they have there? Come
I
on.
don't know. It's their last hope, because if the Supreme Court upholds this ruling, they may just decide to stop selling opiates. And they may, then what's going to happen? Then everybody who was on opiates is going to have to go into the black market and start buying heroin. I mean, it's not going to solve anything if they stop manufacturing. If that's what these people want, is to put them out of business, then they may actually put them out of the business of manufacturing opiates. If they keep having to pay $500 million here, and then Washington State or Oregon or the next state says, well, we can cash in too, and they file a lawsuit. I mean, all 50 states are going to file lawsuits just so they can get a cash grab. They're going to back out and stop selling at some point, and it's not going to solve anything.
No, it certainly won't. It will just cause the heroin addiction rates to increase.
Right.
Because they're already addicted to this point. Whatever you may think about heroin and opiates, surely people have to agree that Percocets and Lortabs are significantly less destructive than shooting up heroin.
I'm not sure if I agree.
Really?
Nope, we can talk about it.
Yeah, more of that in just a moment. Let us know what you think about the drug war and the alleged opiate epidemic. 855-450-3733.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state, until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
Dehibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on, so it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, Dehibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people and can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Dehibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. That's shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. shopsupertea.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Take control of the airwaves with 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Hey, it's Ian.
And Derrick J.
Sorry.
So we've been talking about the drug war and the opiate crisis. Now, I said just before the break that I think heroin is, at least on average, going to be more destructive to a user and their body than taking prescription opiates like Lortab and Percocet.
Why? Aren't they all the same chemical?
Well, they're
to
related.
Varying degrees?
They're related chemicals, but I mean, that's like saying that, I can't think of any two related.
Like absinthe and beer are the same thing, right? Like, because they're both alcohol?
Yeah, or like hydrogen peroxide is basically just water, right? I mean, they're not. One will, hydrate you and the other won't.
Okay.
So they are related. They're derived from the same core compound, which is poppy, ultimately, but they are offshoots of it going in different directions that still are somewhat related.
I thought I'd heard that they were very similar, that heroin and oxycodone or hydrocodone or whatever are very, very similar.
Well, the difference is probably something like a
though.
carbon molecule atom being in a different place or something.
I would say,
but in chemical terms, that's a pretty big difference.
Well, not necessarily, but it depends. I would say for the reason you cited earlier, because these these pills coming from these companies actually have acetaminophen in them, which is undesirable as far as
if you're going to overdose on them.
But if you're going to get high, they're not going to. That's not. The acetaminophen isn't going to get you high, right?
I was the only user in the area that knew about cold water extractions. Everyone else was just taking massive amounts of Tylenol every single day. Some of them snorting it. I never snorted any either.
Wait, they were taking Tylenol or they were taking Lortabs and...
Well, yes, it was not Tylenol. It was acetaminophen, but...
But in these pills with the opiates as well. So they're just crushing the pills up and shooting them up, right?
So, no, most of them were taking them or crushing them up and snorting them. I didn't know anyone who was shooting up the pills after having crushed them up. I don't doubt that people exist. I just wasn't running with those people because that's such a short step to, okay, well, let's just go ahead and shoot up heroin. And I intentionally stayed away from that the same way I stayed away from like cocaine, crack, and meth.
Oh, well, look at you.
Well, I don't know about that. But I was just like, those are 4 things because I know me. I got addicted to painkillers. I was like, those are 4 things that I'm just always going to stay away from.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, they're pretty equally dangerous as far as addiction is concerned. But if you're going to be addicted to one or the other, you'd probably want to be addicted to the heroin, at least if you can get good heroin, right? Because then you're dealing with just that one chemical instead of also having to, be shooting up acetaminophen.
Sure, but if we weren't crazy,
needles, you have to make sure the needles are clean because I think one of the biggest risks with shooting up anything is
you don't
that
necessarily
you're gonna get
have to
dirty
shoot
needles
up heroin.
That's true. You can insufflate it.
Yeah. What is that?
AKA snort.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the fancy word?
That's the medical word.
Insufflate.
Insufflate.
Interesting.
Huh.
But, it's also because, we're crazy. So we don't allow
yourself. Wait a minute, who's crazy?
Okay, the United States is crazy. The American government and on average the American people are crazy.
You may be crazy. I've not figured that out yet.
But you can't just go into the pharmacy and buy just pure hydrocodone. You can only buy it with the acetaminophen. It's the equivalent of only being able to buy heroin that has fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
Or
Must
some
have been
other
kinda
impurity.
Nice. Like in the days, I've never experienced this, but I've heard that there were days where there were pharmacists and you would go down to the local drugstore and he would have little bottles with different vials and he would like mix you up something like, oh, I'm having a toothache. I need some pain reliever.
Cocaine.
And be like, oh yeah, here's some cocaine, right? Or he would mix up whatever, and so I'm sure if you had a personal relationship with this pharmacist, they probably would be like, you've had enough. It looks like you're starting to have a problem. Or, he would at least make sure that it was clean, that it wasn't giving you something that was hurting you.
Well, that's the benefit of, getting rid of the drug war and allowing people to just buy their heroin at the gas station down the street. Well, probably not the gas station down the street. It'd be like gas station sushi, not really something the average person would want to consume. But at the local Walmart pharmacy or whatever, just go in and buy your heroin. It's pure because it's, it's happening above ground, above the threshold of the black market. Everybody's watching it being produced. Just like you don't see a lot of, Budweiser beer or wine tainted with cyanide or whatever it was from the Prohibition era. Because now you have all of these watchers basically inside the industry and outside where they're doing it in the open where everybody's watching.
It's quality control. You don't want to sell a product that's not the product you're saying it is, or it's going to look real bad in the legal market, in the above board market. Yeah.
So what we're afraid of here, or what you're afraid of rather, is that this is going to set a bad precedent if Johnson & Johnson loses their appeal to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and does it say, maybe in the beginning of the story, you might have said it earlier and I just don't recall, what court made this decision? Was it the Supreme Court in Oklahoma or was it a federal court in Oklahoma? Do you know? Offhand?
It doesn't specify at the beginning. It says in Oklahoma. Evidently, it was a Cleveland County District Judge, so it was a district court, not even the Oklahoma Supreme Court.
So it may be very, very low level then. This may have a ways to go.
It seems like it would. Yeah, because this is going to be appealed rightly. If anybody should be in the crossfire for this, other than the users themselves, and remember, speaking as a former opiate addict, it was 100% my fault. It wasn't the doctor saying, oh, yeah, you want this thing? Well, here's this thing. Because I did have a doctor who would do that.
But that does happen.
It does. The doctor that I visited, he would sit down with you wearing pajamas and ask you, well, what do you want? Oh, well, I want 10 milligram Loratabs. All right, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, I know a woman anecdotally, she hurt her back. She got prescribed something. Then she couldn't get off of this stuff. It was really sad, I mean, she trusts this doctor. It's supposed to help heal her. And here she is like, oh, now I'm a drug addict. That's horrible.
That is horrible.
But it does happen. And I hope that the punishment wouldn't be on those of us who are legitimate in pain. Like you go and break your collarbone, you're going to need something serious for that. And if Johnson & Johnson isn't making it, where are you going to get the pain relief that you need? As a legit person.
Well, the whole reason mine started was because of kidney stones.
Oh.
And needing something.
I hear they're painful.
It was extraordinarily painful. It was bad enough that while waiting for the painkillers to get prescribed in the Walgreens parking lot, I was vomiting from the pain of it. It was like, screw this, just take me to the ER. I'm going to die. Because I thought that I was. It was the most intense pain I've ever had.
That's so scary.
Yeah, it was not pleasant. I would not recommend it.
Did the pain relievers actually cure the symptoms?
They completely alleviated the pain. They completely blocked it out.
But was that like a good thing? I mean, like sometimes if you have pain, it's a signal that there's something really wrong that needs to be investigated.
It was the kidney stones that were really wrong.
So you already knew and you were getting treated for that.
I mean, I had these calcium deposits in my kidneys that weren't supposed to be there, which is causing massive amounts of pain. So yes, that level of pain made me go to the doctor. They did, urine tests. They were like, oh, there's a lot of blood in this and whatever. And I was, oh, you have kidney stones.
Well, maybe I'm worrying for nothing, but what I see projecting out into the future because of this decision, this court case, is a future where in America someone has kidney stones like you and then can't get legally prescribed pain relief. Like you just have to deal with the pain and that's it. Because no one wants to manufacture this stuff because they open themselves up to lawsuits.
Yeah, that's not a good place to be in. There need to be legitimate avenues for people to deal with pain of that intensity.
I'm curious if the story gets into what the judge's decision was regarding the, what was it, $500-something million. in the story from NPR, which preceded the judgment, where they're just kind of talking about the trial, it says that the prosecution, or that's not the right term, the plaintiffs or whatever, the state who brought the case, was demanding $17 billion paid out over 30 years, so paid in installments over that 30-year time frame. So I'm wondering if the 500-something million is paid all at once, or did they, do they string out the payments on that? Does it say in there at all?
It doesn't. It implies that it's immediate. Balkman, the district court judge, said for this reason, the reason being the opiate crisis and its effects in Oklahoma, I'm entering an abatement plan that consists of costs totaling $500 million or so to immediately remediate the nuisance.
Immediately. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So it seems like they're like, no, give us this money now. Based on what I'm hearing.
Well, I would think if it was spread out over a span of time, then Johnson & Johnson would continue producing opioids because they'd need that money to like keep flowing
to
in.
pay out. Yeah.
But it also says it's an abatement plan that consists of costs totaling that amount of money. Now, I don't know.
Plus 30 years, $17 billion over 30 years is probably just over $500 million a year as well.
That's true.
So, I don't know.
What
Bad
are your
news.
thoughts on the opiate crisis? Is this going to be bad? Are you one day going to go to the ER with a broken leg or a broken collarbone or a broken hip or whatever and be told by your doctors that they cannot help you?
Here, take a Tylenol, kid. Good luck.
855-450-3733 or use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm.
Are you locked into a crappy schedule where you're forced to report to work, or even to a relationship where you're not allowed to do the things you want to do? That sucks. Wouldn't you prefer to live a more free life? There's another way to live. I'm Caleb Jones, and my staff and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income, location-independent businesses and how to date women under your terms. Go to freelifeinfo.com to download 7 free books and podcasts so you can live a life like this too.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. Go Dark Bags prevent location tracking and protect your privacy by instantly blocking all cell phone, GPS, and Wi-Fi signals to your mobile device. Plus, they're durable, water-resistant, and built for a lifetime of protection. Visit godarkbags.com/FTL. That's godarkbags.com/FTL.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,527, silver at $17.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $10,303. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, if you're feeling anger for the political system being rigged to benefit those at the top, a new poll reveals you're far from alone. The Mind Unleashed reports that, released on Sunday, an NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows that 70% of Americans said they felt angry because the political system seems to only be working for the insiders with money and power. That figure, based on polling conducted August 10th through 14th, is barely different from the 69% who said they felt that way in an October 2015 poll. Questions asked by the pollsters reveal pessimism. 67% of those polled said they do not feel that the next generation will face a better life than the current one. That's up from the 61% who felt that way in 2017. Respondents' views of race relations were also grim. The poll finds that 60% believe race relations are bad in the nation. That view was expressed by 56% of whites, 81% of African Americans, and 61% of Hispanics. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Record fires are raging in Brazil's Amazon rainforest, with more than 2,500 fires currently burning. They're collectively emitting huge amounts of carbon, with smoke plumes visible thousands of kilometers away. The Mind Unleashed reports that the fires in Brazil increased by 85% in 2019, with more than half in the Amazon region, according to Brazil's space agency. The sudden increase is likely down to land degradation. Land clearing and farming reduces the availability of water, warms the soil, and intensifies drought, combining to make fires more frequent and more fierce. The growing number of fires are the result of illegal forest clearing to create land for farming. Fires are set deliberately and spread easily in the dry season. The desire for new land for cattle farming has been the main driver of deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon since the 1970s. The massive decline of insect populations in recent years is an environmental crisis that's often overlooked. And by all indication, it seems that pesticides are largely to blame for the problem. However, researchers are currently developing alternatives that can hopefully protect crops for farmers without causing widespread harm to insect populations. According to Truth Theory, biopesticides are derived from natural materials like plants, bacteria, and certain minerals. These substances are not harmful to the environment and also pose less risk to insects. Some biopesticides are not even harmful, but just work to repel certain insects from the area, while others only target specific insects in a limited range. One of the most interesting recent developments in the field of biopesticides is the use of fungi. Fungus-based pesticides would still kill the insects that attempt to feast on the crops, but it would not be a toxin that gets into the environment, which reduces the widespread exposure to plant, animal, and insect life. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Jared Gilchrist was surfing when he was attacked by a shark that took his leg. Thanks for being with us, big guy.
Thanks, this is tight.
What was going through your mind when you first realized that you were there with a shark all alone in open water?
I felt like a total badass. It bit into my leg and started shaking it back and forth, and at that point I just felt, yes, this is sweet.
I can't imagine what it would have been like to see the teeth sinking into your leg like.
It was sick. At one point, I just saw my leg just floating there in the water. It was awesome.
Okay, we're joined now via satellite by Dr. Brian Caddy. What condition was Jared's leg in when you first saw him?
It was in pretty rough shape. The shark had scissored through the muscle, and it was all just like hanging off the bone. It was nuts.
Yeah, I kept touching it. It was slimy as hell.
Yeah, totally. It was insane.
Well, doctor, how do you deal with something like this?
Well, you're never fully prepared for an injury this freaking cool. We just tried to stop the blood loss, and we took a bunch of photos because it's hysterical to freak out the nurses with gnarly shit like this.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Derrick J.
And we've been talking about generally perceived to be negative drugs. And I guess that's true to some extent about the next conversation as well. But we've also got a story here about psychedelic mushrooms. That's psilocybin cubensis. And
what did you say?
Psilocybin cubensis is the scientific name of the shrooms.
Aren't there more than one type of shroom that has psilocybin in it, or is it just that one?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure it's actually, I know for a fact it's multiple because I know that there exist truffles that have them, and truffle is similar to mushrooms.
Oh my.
Yeah. So sure, there are probably several types of psilocybin mushrooms, not just
So what about
cubensis.
these things?
Well, they're great for depression.
They
and
legalized
anxiety.
it in Denver, didn't they?
They
I heard
did.
they're putting it in coffee and stuff.
Really? They're that far along?
Yeah, there's a coffee shop that's putting shrooms, like a little bit of psilocybin in your morning coffee.
Like a
Can you imagine?
microdose?
Yeah.
No way, dude. You got to find that news. Is there a news
I'll
story
get it
about
right now.
that?
Yeah,
Because what they did in Denver was they decriminalized it. So they put it up to a vote, and the people of Denver, and it was, kind of a close vote, but it did pass. And they made it, I believe, the lowest police priority, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's a very weak level of decriminalization.
Well, if they're putting it in coffee and they haven't been arrested yet, I would
That's
say
true.
it's an effective level of decriminalization. Like if the coffee
I would not
shop,
want shrooms with my coffee.
if it's a microdose, you won't even.
Sure.
Yeah. Look, if it's like a liquid psilocybin, they may be extracting the shrooms into a liquid psilocybin, so you wouldn't taste.
More power to them. I mean, that's the way to go.
It is the way to go. It's a much more pleasant way of dosing on psychedelic mushrooms without the whole eating dried, nasty old mushrooms. You just put a little squirt of this liquid psilocybin in your coffee. You're not even going to taste it, especially in a drink like coffee. If you take the liquid psilocybin and you drink it straight, or you put it into some water, it's not particularly pleasant. But if it's mixed in with something like coffee or a fruit juice, it's hard to detect it. And especially at a microdose level, it would be pretty much indetectable at that level. And then within probably 15 to 20 or so minutes, you're going to start having whatever the effects are. And if it's a microdose, it may be very, very slight. It may just simply be you're more aware or more focused or whatever that does for you.
Well, check this out. 9news.com. Author is Ryan Harrer, published August 8th, 2019, so it's a fresh story.
Wow.
Denver, Colorado, I'm skipping a few paragraphs down. When Denver decriminalized marijuana more than a decade ago, many expressed concerns about a slippery slope. Sure enough, Colorado went on to legalize recreational marijuana, and then it says here, Strava Craft Coffee got an early start in the CBD market in 2016, and now their owner is considering adding magic mushrooms to coffee. So it's just considering. It's not. I don't believe it's happening.
That's
he
awesome,
says,
though.
100%. I believe psilocybin will follow the same path as cannabis did and be widely accepted and legal and hopefully commercialized.
Yeah,
I would agree entirely, man.
It can't happen soon enough. I think that would be absolutely wonderful, and I hope that we can see it happen here in New Hampshire. I know New Hampshire's behind the ball as far as decriminalizing cannabis is concerned. Compared to the surrounding states, New Hampshire is way behind the ball.
Well, maybe New Hampshire will just do both at the same time.
Well, okay, that's a possibility.
You're a dreamer.
Yeah, well,
I am.
That's what it takes. But I did talk to a couple of state representatives because here in New Hampshire, we know these people. Like the state reps are in many cases very libertarian folks. and I was talking with them at the dinner that you guys didn't make it to, actually, the Liberty Alliance dinner.
Yeah.
And so I was talking with like Mark Warden and a couple of the other state representatives there who are freedom-friendly guys, and I was like, hey, did you guys hear about what happened in Oakland? Because not only did Denver decriminalize mushrooms, but Oakland City Council voted unanimously.
All right.
There's a lot of bad parts about Oakland, but this is a good one.
Oh, it's awful.
Right. But at least you could do mushrooms now because
Boy, I can't think of a scarier place to do mushrooms. Oh, my God.
But at least you can do this because what they did was so unlike Denver where it was a ballot initiative, here it went to the city council. They had a hearing where people came up and talked about how taking psilocybin mushrooms had helped them, that it had helped them solve whatever depression issues or maybe alcoholism or whatever their story was. And the city council voted unanimously to decriminalize possession of mushrooms and made it, again, the lowest possible police resource. Police are not allowed to spend any money enforcing this. They just basically, it's almost completely off the table for the cops to do anything about this.
Very cool.
But the interesting thing about what they passed was that it wasn't just for mushrooms. The way the ordinance was written, it was any kind of natural like plant, or mushrooms aren't exactly a plant, but anything that sort of can be cultivated or can be grown. So it would include peyote, for instance. So peyote and mushrooms, presumably cannabis if it wasn't already legal.
What is peyote?
It's cactus.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's also got psychedelic properties.
Right, I've heard that, but I don't know what it looks like or what it is.
It's I don't know which kind of cactus it is, but it is some sort of cactus. So instead of just doing
I now have a new thing to propose to the city council if I happen to win the election for representative of Ward 2.
Well, if you run on that platform, now you got a chance.
Well,
hey, listen,
it's going to be written in by midnight.
Nice.
So Amit, the owner of this coffee shop, he says he wants to offer a coffee that allows customers to microdose. So it's just as you expected.
Very cool.
The coffee would include a dose so small that users would not feel high.
Unless you drink 10 cups.
Instead, a daily dose, he said, could have more of a long-term impact on one's mental health and well-being. So there's, still studies to be done on this, but it seems like it's got some positive effects.
Well,
I agree.
It's colloquial, but the whole reason that I am involved with psychedelic mushrooms is to deal with depression. I find it to be a superior way of dealing with it, to eat some shrooms every 3 or 4 months instead of taking antidepressants or something every single day.
I've heard that.
It seems to be more effective for me. I'm not sitting there being depressed lately.
And it has long-lasting effects. Like, in other words, it's not like in the
for
moment,
about 3 to 4 months.
I'm so high. I don't feel sad about anything. It's like months later, you're still like not as depressed.
Right. And it just sort of creeps back up, and it's like, okay, it's time for another medicinal.
Wow.
There have been studies that very small studies have been done on this, and they've found what you're talking about, Aria, where it could last up to 6 months in many cases, the sort of antidepressant effect of these mushrooms. In some cases, mushrooms or MDMA have been found to be able to do things like just straight up cure PTSD.
Yeah, it seems like that makes more sense to me than the every couple of months thing, because if the mushrooms are out of your system in like a day or two or however long it takes, you would think that the effects would also be out of your system, or else it's mental.
There are longer lasting effects of psychedelics than just, the 8-hour trip or whatever.
Yeah, but did you
it sticks
forget?
with you.
Like, it's like, oh, after a month, I'm not depressed anymore, but then after 3 months, I'm starting to get sad. It's like, did you forget what made you happy? Or like,
it's brain chemistry, man. It's all about.
These are the kind of questions that people who don't struggle from depression ask. I don't get it. Like, it's hard for me to understand.
It's all about serotonin and dopamine imbalances and stuff like that. And for whatever reason,
you're making that up. You don't know.
I think that
I have a pretty good idea.
There's evidence, Aria, that placebo effect can cure depression.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything can cure depression.
Well, then it doesn't have to do with an imbalance in chemicals. If you can just cure it yourself, then you're rebalancing it on your own. Then, right?
Well, you can certainly.
It's not something you're helpless against, I guess is what I'm saying. If placebo,
I'm certainly not helpless against it. No,
but if placebo can cure.
Well, placebo doesn't work if you know it's a placebo.
Of course not.
So, I mean, but sure, there are meditative methods and all of that that people use to effectively control their brains and fix the imbalances, and those are effective to some degree as well. Ultimately, that's a question of, do our brains control us or do we control our brains, though?
Well, we can talk more about it because I got more about mushrooms on the way.
Let's get into that. Give us a call. What do you think about shrooms? 855-450-3733.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com with just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Give us a call and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And Ian.
And Derrick J.
And I want to tell you about Liberty.menu because for years, libertarians have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping to build one, and that's Liberty.menu. It's a tool for your community. At its core, it's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and so much more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network to it. So you can comment, so you can connect and share with others. It's exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. So if that sounds like you, go put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu and use the code FTL to get a special badge. Once more, that's liberty.menu. Now, we've been talking about shrooms here, psychedelic mushrooms, and we haven't even gotten really into the article yet.
It's true, because we have strong opinions about these things, and they've been, I would say all three of us have benefited from them.
I would certainly agree that I have.
I mean, I don't want to speak for you,
I don't know.
Derrick J,
What sort of benefits are you talking about?
I would say that psychedelics in general, mushrooms included, have helped me be a better person. I mean, have connected me to things that otherwise I would not have had, experiences that I otherwise would not have had that have been overwhelmingly positive. Some of them were terrifying in certain circumstances.
You mean like thoughts and revelations about the world?
Yeah, you could look at it that way. Yeah.
I walked out of the house one night, and there's this bush off to the side. It looked like three hooded figures that were just like glaring at me.
Oh,
so now every time I go outside at night to smoke, I still see that. And it's so trippy. But that was rare. And, I was in a bad place mentally then, which is why I did the shrooms in the first place.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
No, that was the best time to do them. So I went back in, I cleared my head. Next time I came out to smoke, it wasn't three shadowy figures glaring at me. It was and I swear to God, it was three gnomes dancing in the breeze and pointing all around, trying to get me to love the rest of the world. It was,
wow.
Yeah.
Because I've heard, whatever head state you're in, it's going to be amplified. So if you're in like a really bad place,
that's certainly true. But the only way through
could make it way worse.
Yeah, but the only way through is through. You've got to go down into that pit and fight the minotaurs and come out the other side.
If you're ready for that, then yes. I don't disagree with you.
Some people aren't mentally stable enough.
Yeah, if you're brand new, then no.
No, if you're brand new, that's a really good recipe for thinking you can fly and jumping out of window or something like that, which shrooms, in my experience at least, they don't make you trip to that degree. That's more of an LSD kind of thing. I've never been so tripping on shrooms that I thought I might be able to fly.
The strongest trip I've ever been on was on mushrooms.
I'm not saying they're weaker than LSD. It's just a different quality to it. Maybe on enough LSD, I could see myself thinking I could fly, but not with shrooms.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I thought I could fly. I'm not saying that. No.
So let's get into.
I think that's a almost a myth. I don't know how true that is.
Actually, before we get into the article, let's turn to the phones.
Yeah,
we've got Ripple calling in from Las Vegas. Ripple, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys,
Hey.
I wanted to talk about the acetaminophen.
Yeah,
right.
There's a process that is pretty simple. You can remove it from the oxy pills and all the different opiate pills.
You're talking about cold water
up
extractions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you just put it in the freezer. It separates.
The primary issue with that is that most people don't know about it.
So obviously you can go look up how to do this here. I don't know anything about this. What are you putting in the freezer exactly? Are you crushing up pills and somehow putting it in some sort of fluid? I mean, what are you putting in the freezer?
I don't recall off the top of my head. I didn't do it a lot.
No, Ripple's telling us.
Right. I'm asking Ripple.
Yeah, you just crunch up the pills, put it in some water, and then in the freezer, and then right before it freezes, it separates, and there's you see the different colors of the material.
Wow. Is one heavier than the other? So it's always like the hydrocodone's on top, and then the acetaminophen's on the bottom, or is it one or the other, or what?
I don't know. That makes sense, but
wait, I thought you've done this.
No, I was told
Oh,
from
okay.
a reliable source.
I'm sorry. I thought we were talking with an expert here. It's all right.
You're
Go
not a
ahead.
pharmacist?
So, so
No, I'm a good listener. I have done some other extractions, but the peyote is the active ingredient in there is mescaline.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
you guys were
Mescaline, that's a
talking
good one.
about like the difference between like a whole plant medicine and like different extracts and things. Because you could extract the mescaline with, the mescaline hydrochloride. That could be extracted, and you could take that, but the trip is not the same as like taking a peyote trip because all the different compounds and alkaloids in there, just like on cannabis, or just like with cannabis.
Well, what do you normally do when you take a peyote trip? You just eat a piece of cactus?
I thought they smoked it.
Eat it.
Yeah, I think you eat it. I don't know any. I've never done mescaline, so I don't know anything about it.
I've done mescaline. I've never done peyote.
Well, apparently it's the same thing, but different.
Well, I think mescaline contains the same.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying the
ingredient.
peyote has other things in it as well. Is that right, Ripple?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all the plant medicines like cannabis, peyote, and San Pedro cactus, which also contains mescaline.
Interesting, because mescaline's generally more like a party psychedelic, sort of similar to MDMA.
Really?
Really?
Because Aldous Huxley was on mescaline when he wrote The Doors of Perception.
I don't consider any
MDMA
psychedelic to be a party drug.
Well,
at all.
MDMA has its own, I don't want to use the word spiritual, but there's no other word for it. Spiritual benefits. It's not just a party drug by any means, but mescaline has the same sort of reputation.
Huh.
Oh,
interesting. I didn't know that. I don't know anyone who's... I mean, I probably know people who've done mescaline, but no one's ever offered it to me.
Interesting. Well, thank you, Ripple, for the call.
Yeah, thanks for the thoughts, the expertise.
So this article about shrooms here that we have.
Yeah, it's in, of all places, USA Today, one of the sort of more widely read national newspapers. They're talking about psychedelic mushrooms. They even mention MDMA in here. Here's a story from Trevor Hughes at USA Today in Denver. Tucker Max tried to drown his childhood sadness in booze and sex. That didn't work, although it netted him a best-selling book and movie based on his story. As he got older, he tried working out and got fit, but still felt lousy. He also tried business, co-founding publishing house Scribe Media, but his mind still struggled. It wasn't until he turned to MDMA and psilocybin, or magic mushrooms, that he finally found something he believes altered his brain chemistry for the better. After taking a large dose of mushrooms at a spiritual retreat in South America, Max had what he describes as a life-changing mental journey akin to a near-death experience. Like many other mushroom users, Max, who's 43, claims the substance opened his mind to a new way of seeing the world, allowing him to make permanent changes to his brain. And this kind of ties in with some of the stuff that we were just talking about a few moments ago. We can continue the discussion coming up.
Absolutely. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. That number is 855-450-3733. Or if you want the quality like we just had with Ripple, use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Do you ever say, I could care less, when you really mean the opposite? You mean to say, I couldn't care less. It's a common mistake. You are judged by how you speak, especially if you're looking for work, with so many more applicants than openings now. But even if you're not, avoiding common misstatements will help you make the most of the dozens of conversations and transactions that crowd your daily routine. So whatever you say, don't say whatever as a single-word sentence. It's the most annoying expression in the American English language, according to a recent poll. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. But seriously, at the end of the day, you'll want to avoid this scenario, sounding like everyone else. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Ian.
And Derrick J.
And Ian, tell us about My Magic Mud.
Yes, I'll definitely tell you about My Magic Mud. It's a great product. We've been close to the folks over there at Free Talk Live for years. Remember way back when they were at the Porcupine Freedom Festival.
He meant at My Magic Mud.
Yeah, My Magic Mud. Thank you. Getting My Magic Mud way back at the Porcupine Freedom Festival when they were manufacturing it in their home way back in the day. Now they've got a facility and a bunch of employees, and they've got a whole bunch of new products. But the original My Magic Mud is a black tooth powder made of charcoalized coconut shells and bentonite clay. It's a completely natural product. You can swallow it. It's fine.
That was my question. Is it safe to swallow?
It is. And
regular toothpaste, you're not supposed to.
Well, the black tooth powder isn't even toothpaste. That's just the tooth powder. But they do have a toothpaste now that I use, and you can swallow that too. Because there's no fluoride or any of those nasty chemicals in it. It's all completely natural. They've got a mouthwash. You can swallow that too if you would like. And it's their tooth powder is clinically proven to whiten teeth. So that's probably the reason why they've had such success. The product does what it says it's going to do. So now you can buy it in a bunch of great health food stores like Sprouts, CVS, Natural Grocers, and even Walmart's Natural Beauty aisle. And but why go to the store when you can just go to mymagicmud.com, type in code FTL20, and you will get 20% off your order at mymagicmud.com. Code FTL20.
Very cool. Well, let's get back into the phones. We've got Steven calling in, who is normally here with you on Tuesday nights, but ultimately it turns out it's just too busy, which sucks. But Steven.
Well, he loves work. I mean, he loves doing programming, so I'm glad that he's doing something that he loves.
Yeah.
Almost as much as being on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
But he's with us now on the phone. Steven, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys. Calling here from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Glad to be in the Free State along with you. Calling to tell you about the coolest party. It's even cooler than whatever party Vermin Supreme is having.
Rub it in, why don't you?
See, we're going to space.
Now, is this about the shrooms? I'm joking. Go ahead, Stephen.
They would be cool in space.
As soon as Portsmouth decriminalizes mushrooms, we will have psilocybin openly available at the Space Disco.
Nice.
Do you have rooms available for rent at the Space Disco?
So here's the thing. We're going to space. There are a lot of people out here in the world and in America that are probably listening right now, and they think, I want to go to space. There's kids, there's old people, there's all these people. And I ask about half of the people say, yes, I'm going. So Ian, are you going to space? If there was a spaceship you could get on right now, would you get on and go to space?
I would say if it was tried and true. I don't want to be the first person to go to space.
I will gladly be the first person to go to space.
Aria, you're going to space. I know Derrick J is going to space. He is a VIP member on the ECV Precariat. So a bunch of other libertarians that you've probably heard on this network are building a spaceship. It's called the ECV Precariat. And there are real designs for it online. The designs are getting better and better all the time. And you know, of course, that we make the greatest parties. And so
it's true.
Now, there you go. Of course, acknowledgement. Now we're putting our disco on the ship. And the other designers of the ship are so down. Okay?
Excellent.
So
the disco deck.
It's level 15 is the Space Disco, and
now, is there a reason why it was level 15?
It's the biggest one, and it's on top.
It's the one we asked the architects of the ship where it should be, and they said that.
Excellent. So the penthouse, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to pirateswithoutborders.com right now, in the top left-hand corner, you can see the ECV Precariat for yourself, and you can see level 15 and the observation deck.
Does it show the disco balls already in the...
Not yet, no.
Okay.
That's the next step. So
that is next.
He said that we can add the CAD. So whoever knows about CAD, start getting involved with Space Disco, okay? And you're going to hear more about it. And we need you to help us put the Space Disco into the ship. So in the meantime, we are having the Space Disco at the Launchpad Alpha here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, at an underground theater where we're practicing having the disco. Then
this
secondary
is the coolest
steps,
thing ever.
And you have to be part of the crew. Okay, so there's only really room for like 100 people on the ship for the disco. We might be able to fit more on the observation deck. So you have to get to be part of the crew by showing up at the Space Discos now and helping us plan and figure out how we're going to get to space. Okay?
Yeah, so no slackers, right? Like just jumping on board at the last minute. You actually have to help make this thing happen, right?
And so what is this disco? It's actually a party, and we're focused on nutrition and health and energy so that we can have enough energy to build a system that gets us to space so we can have a disco.
In space.
Also, in space, right. Yeah. So the intermediate steps will be us renting some of those planes that are hollowed out that go up and then steeply down to simulate zero gravity.
Right.
I believe that's what they did with the Apollo 13 movies, if I recall correctly.
Right. They did do that. Yeah. So it works. And no one's ever done it with a disco with lights and music and DJs. So in the same time, we are creating the sound of space because space doesn't have a sound yet. And so we're
in space, no one can hear you scream.
But in the air, in the spaceship, you can. And we're cultivating Space House. We're creating high quality recordings of the greatest DJs in the area who know how to create amazing dance music. And we're creating a space vibe in music. Our dancers, They're training. They're creating space dances. How dance is different in space. There's different gravity, right? And we're working
That's
on
true.
the lights. So we had
it's
our
going
first
to change everything, right? I mean, no gravity.
Exactly. It's
the
going to change
rules are
dance
gone.
forever.
Yeah.
We
That's
had our
very
first
exciting.
flight simulation, version 0.1, last Tuesday, and it was an amazing success. A ton of people showed up. Now, it's very exclusive. In order to get in, you have to have some special keys and Bitcoin Cash.
Okay, so
Everything
no
at the
non-cryptos.
disco is Bitcoin Cash only.
So if you want to buy a drink, you got to pay with Bitcoin Cash.
That's right, and you can buy drinks. We have fruit juice and vegetable juice and high quality waters and protein shakes, the highest quality energy and sustenance. We also have masseuses who are there to train your body and relax it so that you can dance the best. But it's all only available with Bitcoin Cash. You can get a VIP card for $50 Bitcoin Cash that gets 2 people. Everything else. But here's the thing. Most people didn't have Bitcoin Cash, okay? Because we want we want performers and dancers who are good enough to inspire the world to somehow get us into space. We also need engineers who are smart enough and finance people who can get us a ship. But they don't have Bitcoin Cash necessarily because they're not libertarian activists and the people within and on the edges of those networks. So how do we do it? How do we get Bitcoin Cash to people really easily, like dozens of people all at the same time during a party where everyone's going to space in their head?
How?
Quite a challenge. How? We created a robot, an onboard flight assistant for Space Disco, which is live now, it's living, and you can communicate with this onboard flight assistant to get Bitcoin and upgrade onto the ship to various levels of benefits.
So this is like HAL, the computer from 2001: A Space Odyssey that like
is this going to go
ends
rogue
up
and kill us?
killing everyone.
I love how both simultaneously cool and dorky this project is.
Okay, so everyone comes in, they're like, okay, well, what do we do? They can't get into
Hold on, Stephen. I want to hear more about this Bitcoin robot that you're about to tell us about. Can you stick with us?
I'll stick with you.
Stephen Zeiler is here with us from helpmetakebitcoin.com also. It's one of the things he does.
And we're talking about the space disco. We're going to space, and we're going to throw a disco, evidently. 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in free from Earth.
When you have a neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Free Talk Live.
So when talking to a liberal, you have to be politically correct.
but when talking to a conservative, you have to be patriotically correct.
Yeah, it's funny how conservatives forget while they're making fun of liberals and how triggered they get over, social issues. But if you don't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem at a hockey game or something, you might get some glares. You might get some people really upset.
I actually had somebody tell me when I was at the State House last week, you should really be standing during the pledge. No, I shouldn't. I don't pledge allegiance to things that don't, give some kind of reciprocal
I'm a slave
protection.
to a piece of cloth. This is my stupid brain-dead life. Amen.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight is Aria.
And Ian.
Derrick J.
Now, is Bitcoin going to the moon, or are we going to the moon?
Maybe both.
We're joined now by Steven Zeiler, who is telling us about Pirates Without Borders and the space disco currently being planned to make the world a better place by escaping it and dancing in perpetuity and peace, love, and liberty, basically, which to me sounds like a pretty awesome thing to do with one's time. So tell us a bit more. I think Ian had at least one question in particular there for you, Stephen.
Did I?
I thought you did before we went out to break.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So in order to get into the space disco, see, we want to attract only the highest tech and kind of, people who are thinking with their head, right? To this disco, so that it's a sensual experience, but for intellectuals who don't often get that because they're always very heady. All right. So in order to get into this, you have to communicate with Calm, the onboard assistant.
That's what it was. He was going to tell us about how to communicate with a robot.
Okay.
Right.
This is the disco bot that I was talking with earlier that didn't like me very much.
Well, anyone
Derek's
on
nodding
air,
for those who can't see it.
Everyone can follow along on air right now and experience what the crew members of Flight Simulation 0.1 experienced by texting the phone number 207-360-8754. And I'll say that again in a minute so you can be ready. But you text this phone number the word disco.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you guys do that?
I did.
Yeah,
and you got the special GIF.
Derrick had Aria do it before the show, but he told me that I didn't need to do it. Should I do it anyway?
Well, you should do it because this will register you within the system, which eventually will be stored on the blockchain, so that there's a record of participation. So people who participate, buy things, are involved with establishing Space Disco at the beginning will be on record, and they will get way more credit when it comes to inviting people to the future Space Discos, which are going to be more advanced and more awesome and in higher altitude. So everyone on air,
I
if you want to
love
participate,
everything about this.
Okay.
you have to text this phone number 207-360-8754. Text it the word disco. And that's really just to tell the robot that you want a disco and that you're interested in applying for a crew membership on the Precariat.
Okay, and so this is open, obviously, to any of the listeners, right? Because you just gave this out over national radio.
That's right. Anyone can text this number, and they will get the boarding. See, here's the thing. They will get the boarding pass for simulation 0.1, which occurred last Tuesday. So this boarding pass, it's really just, it's expired. So it doesn't work, but you will be registering yourself in the system, and we can contact you in the future. We'll tell you about future flight simulations. Okay, but that just gets you in, but you can't really do anything. Like, you can't get a pass into the disco, you can't buy a drink, you can't without
I
Bitcoin
hate to
Cash.
think that if I showed up at this disco, you'd be like, "No, Aria, you can't come in."
Well, wait a minute. Why can't you come in? Doesn't this get you a boarding pass? It gives you a boarding pass.
An expired boarding pass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, there will be a way to get the next boarding pass, but
you have to be on the list.
Yeah, look, this party is amazing, and so a lot of people want to come.
It looked cool. I saw a brief video clip from it. Of course, Aria, you and I were working on the show at that time, so we weren't able to go. But the clip that I saw looked pretty banging.
Look,
I'm
all
not
the greatest,
surprised.
all the most amazing people in the entire world are going to want to participate in this because it will get them into space, to the space disco. So in time, it will become even more and more desirable. So you want to be in now. So
get on the
but
ground
you can't
floor.
Is there
now,
a
if
disco
you're
coin?
if you're a Bitcoin user, then you get a lot of points, and you have a lot more power in the system. For instance, you can acquire a capital interest wristband. It's a VIP where you get free everything.
Damn,
but it's only available for Bitcoin.
And when you say Bitcoin, you mean the real Bitcoin, as in Bitcoin Cash, right?
Ooh, no,
we can negotiate if you got some coins. So you can also pay with Bitcoin SV.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the thing. So most people, they come in and it's dark. There's some cool lights. There's some cool music. Now it was 0.1, so it wasn't the best upstairs. Downstairs was dope. But anyway, upstairs, there's the bar. People want to get drinks.
That's
they
the
can't.
observation deck of the Precariat.
They have to upgrade to premier level. Okay. In order to upgrade to premier level, you get Bitcoin once you upgrade. Okay.
How do you do that?
So you ask the onboard flight assistant to upgrade.
Okay.
So I can type this in now?
So you're saying once
How do I do that?
You're saying once the robot texts back, you then tell it you want an upgrade?
Have you texted this robot, Ian?
I've just texted him, and he gave me the boarding pass.
And what happened?
It says we're going to space and we're bringing a disco. Prepare to move your body, and then I get the invitation to the disco, which happened last week.
So it's like a GIF.
Yeah. And so you're saying then you have to text upgrade to the robot?
Yes. Well, if you want to upgrade to premier level, which is only available for a short time, so everyone who wants to should try, you get some Bitcoin Cash.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
So anyone who texts this gets Bitcoin Cash?
Anyone who texts this will get a code that they can present to the gate attendant.
And what does that do?
You just did it? What did you get?
I just
did you
got
do
it. Yeah.
I got the code. But what is the code? So you have to present the code to at the next party.
Okay, yes. So crew members, well, this happened during the party. Crew members who have a high enough level have a scanner, a space disco scanner. It's an app on their phone, and you can present codes like the one you just received to them, and they will scan it. And if any crew member scans your code that you just received, it will upgrade you to Premier Class and send you a text message with $10 Bitcoin Cash.
That's pretty sweet. So you actually get paid to walk into this party? If you're high enough level or whatever, if you've got the permission slip?
Right. If you engage enough with Bitcoin Cash, you will get free Bitcoin Cash.
Well, I'm the
This is
top
overwhelming.
Bitcoin Cash seller at local.bitcoin.com.
That's true.
I
You are
engage
the
with
top
it pretty
seller.
extensively.
Yeah, so I mean, if you engage with the robot, you'll get some free Bitcoin Cash. Now, you'll want to be cool and have your own Bitcoin Cash and just pay.
For sure.
Right? Because then everyone will
We're
look
not
at
getting
you.
into space if
this
everybody's
is what
reading
happened.
it dry.
Like everyone was overwhelmed by how awesome this party, and a lot of people were new to Bitcoin Cash, and this was the easiest, best way to get them to use it. Like none of them would have thought in a million years. And then they saw some people who had wallets who would go around, and it was way easier for them even. So they looked more fluid and graceful, paying with their better Bitcoin Cash wallets. So everyone's going to want to learn how to use the Bitcoin Cash wallet instead of just coin text.
That's true. On one level, it was really cool seeing people walk in who had never used Bitcoin before, and then boom, they've got Bitcoin on their phone. They're like, okay, I want to get a drink. How do I use it? Okay, they text this number. But they looked a little awkward, like texting a number, and then other people would just go right up to the iPad and use their Bitcoin Cash wallet. And they looked like pros, and they were like, boom, here we go.
What you referenced earlier there, Stephen, was CoinText, which is the system that our actually co-host or former co-host Vin Armani set up at cointext.io to allow people who have dumb phones, for instance. That was sort of, I think, the intention behind it, to let people who don't have smartphones use Bitcoin Cash. And there's actually a Dash version of it as well. And so that's what this robot is sending the Bitcoin Cash out via, is he's sending...
That's right. The
CoinText?
robot has his own CoinText wallet because he has his own phone number. So he will send CoinText payments to people from its CoinText wallet.
So cool.
It's really good. And we had a bunch of people use Bitcoin Cash for the first time. They were all very exposed to it. It's Bitcoin Cash only, so they had to do that. And it was really cool. In future parties, we're going to up the level of exclusivity where you need to be more skilled with Bitcoin Cash to do more things. So some of the things you didn't need this time. It
sounds
really
like a
awesome.
good idea would be to restrict the upper level of your party of the two people who have the Edge wallet or the Koinami wallet, not Koinami because Koinami sucks, but some sort of actual mobile wallet. Well, you can still get on the ground floor if you use the CoinText.
I'm looking forward to hearing about this as it develops, Stephen.
So not only is this the world's only interplanetary disco, it is also the world's only Bitcoin Cash exclusive disco.
I have more.
All right. Stick around.
More about the space disco here in just a few minutes. There's so much more to discuss about discoing in space.
And mushrooms.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. Go Dark Bags prevent location tracking and protect your privacy by instantly blocking all cell phone, GPS, and Wi-Fi signals to your mobile device. Plus, they're durable, water-resistant, and built for a lifetime of protection. Visit godarkbags.com/FTL. That's godarkbags.com/FTL.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,527. Silver at $17.65. And Bitcoin is trading around $10,303. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, if you're feeling anger for the political system being rigged to benefit those at the top, a new poll reveals you're far from alone. The Mind Unleashed reports that, released on Sunday, an NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows that 70% of Americans said they felt angry because the political system seems to only be working for the insiders with money and power. That figure, based on polling conducted August 10th through 14th, is barely different from the 69% who said they felt that way in an October 2015 poll. Questions asked by the pollsters reveal pessimism. 67% of those polled said they do not feel that the next generation will face a better life than the current one. That's up from the 61% who felt that way in 2017. Respondents' views of race relations were also grim. The poll finds that 60% believe race relations are bad in the nation. That view was expressed by 56% of whites, 81% of African Americans, and 61% of Hispanics. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Record fires are raging in Brazil's Amazon rainforest, with more than 2,500 fires currently burning. They're collectively emitting huge amounts of carbon, with smoke plumes visible thousands of kilometers away. The Mind Unleashed reports that the fires in Brazil increased by 85% in 2019, with more than half in the Amazon region, according to Brazil's space agency. The sudden increase is likely down to land degradation. Land clearing and farming reduces the availability of water, warms the soil, and intensifies drought, combining to make fires more frequent and more fierce. The growing number of fires are the result of illegal forest clearing to create land for farming. Fires are set deliberately and spread easily in the dry season. The desire for new land for cattle farming has been the main driver of deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon since the 1970s. The massive decline of insect populations in recent years is an environmental crisis that's often overlooked. And by all indication, it seems that pesticides are largely to blame for the problem. However, researchers are currently developing alternatives that can hopefully protect crops for farmers without causing widespread harm to insect populations. According to Truth Theory, biopesticides are derived from natural materials like plants, bacteria, and certain minerals. These substances are not harmful to the environment and also pose less risk to insects. Some biopesticides are not even harmful, but just work to repel certain insects from the area, while others only target specific insects in a limited range. One of the most interesting recent developments in the field of biopesticides is the use of fungi. Fungus-based pesticides would still kill the insects that attempt to feast on the crops, but it would not be a toxin that gets into the environment, which reduces the widespread exposure to plant, animal, and insect life. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A job applicant totally nails an interview with the person who will make his life a living hell for the next 5 years. And adjusting several sliders on a recording studio's mixing console pays off big time. This is the Onion Week in Review. This week, a study published by researchers at Johns Hopkins University revealed a direct correlation between breastfeeding and knowing exactly what's best for other people at all times. Overwhelming evidence indicated that the moment mothers begin breastfeeding, they develop a highly honed sense of what is wrong with others' approach to life, and were able to loudly enumerate those faults with total confidence in their accuracy. Researchers noted that the practice greatly boosted a young mother's immunity to the viewpoints of others. And in this week's Tech Report, a startup is very casual about its dress code and benefits. In other news, the Secretary of Interior says knocking down the Rocky Mountains could really open up the nation. And a woman is not going to let her husband of 60 years drag her into death at the same time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And Ian.
And Derrick J.
And we've been talking with Steven Zeiler of AnyPayInc.com, who is sharing with us the space disco.
Apparently, he decided to stay home tonight so he could call in and be interviewed for an hour about the space disco. It's been great, by the way. Thanks for telling us all about this. I didn't know you guys were ready to break this thing nationwide. I mean, this is a big announcement.
Guys, in order to get to space, we have to inspire millions of people. But not only that, we have to create something that can finance multiple space journeys and then a ship. So it's imperative we develop advanced technology that can be used to help people all over the world and us get paid. So that's what needs to come out of Space Disco. We're working on that. I think this robot Bitcoin technology is really cool. Ian, you have this outreach program in Keene on the radio where you have people contact you to get free Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That could be automated with text messages. That would be really awesome. I'm hoping to put that idea in your head so you might think of something really cool. Also, every time anyone paid with Bitcoin Cash at the Space Disco, it wasn't like a normal payment where you pay from your wallet and it goes right from you to the business owner or the business's bank account. No, this was actually a special type of payment that is unique in the Bitcoin world, and that is a payment with multiple outputs. So every time anyone paid, instead of the bar getting paid, 5 people got paid equal amounts. And these people were all involved with Space Disco in some way. So there was the guy running the house from the Seacoast rep, the theater itself, the Space Disco account, the doorman, and the DJ all had their Bitcoin Cash address in the system, and whenever someone paid, it was actually 5 outputs that add up to the total amount. So when you buy a smoothie, everyone gets $1.
Now, this is an interesting application, and you guys had told me about it before the Space Disco, so I knew that it existed. And this is something that AnyPay, you guys over at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com, I guess, this is software you wrote, right, Stephen, that does this split up of the Bitcoin Cash?
That's right. Yeah, it is software that I wrote, and it's improving, and it's going to become way more awesome. But we're looking at eliminating this confusing and unnecessary or like involved human process in different organizations. That when you pay for an event or you pay like tips, they go into a pool, which then later someone figures out who gets how much.
Right. That's a pain in the butt. People don't want to do that.
It's a pain in the butt. How do you track all that money? How long do you have to wait? In my life, I've experienced this doing jobs, and then they say like, oh, payroll is going to run in 2 weeks, and I've come back even and not gotten paid, and they said, oh, well, that wasn't right.
And me as a customer, when I go into a club, basically the only person I care about paying is the DJ and the person who wipes up the floor and makes it clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to pay the bartender, but I guess it makes sense because I'm not buying drinks. You know, I don't drink alcohol, but if I'm going into the business and I buy a smoothie, I just paid the doorman, the DJ, the bartender, the person who wipes up the floor.
Because that's where the money's coming from anyway, is the whatever the drink sales are or the admission sales at any bar, it's going to be split up amongst the employees somehow by some manager at some point. In this case, it's just all done right then at that instant.
And you're saying it doesn't matter what wallet you're using, you pay that AnyPay QR code and it went to 5 different people.
That's right. That's exactly correct. And every event ever is losing money, and people are losing value in the inefficiency of having to wait and split up the money and all of this uncertainty. There's at the Fresh
and
Press
cheating.
wherever
They could be cheating too.
Right.
Yeah, cheating. People at the Fresh Press who get tips, they have to wait weeks, and then all the tips are pulled together, and then someone
weeks.
The manager,
Yeah,
I think it's a week or two. Then the manager will calculate how much everyone worked and then divvy up the tips. No, with AnyPay, it's going to be you pay and it splits to everyone relevant instantly right in your payment. I think that's the future. The world's going to be super efficient, and we can develop this technology and test it through Space Disco with the general public, because Space Disco is something that a lot of people want. See, we've got to create something that a lot of mainstream people want. They have to be really cool people and fun people, but they can only get it if they engage with Bitcoin.
I'm excited. I think this is a really cool thing. And I can see, there's going to be some, I would say, some growing pains, some difficulties in implementing this, like at the store level. So, for instance, Aria, you work at a pizza place here in town. I don't think that's a secret, right?
Right.
There's going to be a different crew that's in there on Monday night as opposed to
ideally, it would be set up so that when I clocked in, it added my...
That's what I was saying. Yeah, there's going to have to be some sort of a clock in, clock out thing to where the people who work Mondays aren't getting paid for the pizzas that are made on Saturday.
Right.
So,
of course. And in the long run, there will be lots of people who develop different software for niche industries too, who have different ways of tipping. The point is, if you're out there and you're excited by this, AnyPay is doing it first, and we're way ahead. So just follow us. Follow AnyPay. We're doing some awesome things, and you're going to want to come to Space Disco.
I did. I wish I could have gone. I think Silver Dave, did he show up? He was really excited about it. Did he go?
Silver Dave rocked it. He brought his energy. He was on the dance floor. Everyone loved it.
Awesome. Well, Stephen, I'm not sure how much we can really get out of this, but I want to thank you for the call. We got to get into the story about shrooms.
Yeah, great call, man. Thanks for sharing that with us. I think it's some really exciting technology that you guys are working over there at AnyPay. And, of course, the starting step for anybody is to just go to helpmetakebitcoin.com, and you got to get started accepting cryptocurrency before you can get into this advanced stuff. So start with that.
Absolutely. But
Thanks,
once
Stephen.
they do, thank you, Stephen. So the story about shrooms.
Oh, yeah, there's a great story here from USA Today about...
Speaking of going into space.
Right, about a man who's 43 who claims that MDMA and psilocybin mushrooms altered his brain chemistry for the better. He called it a life-changing mental journey akin to a near-death experience, and opened his mind to a new way of seeing the world, allowing him to make permanent changes to his brain. He says...
Is this an opinion piece from this guy, or is this
this is a news story. This is a feature-length news story by Trevor Hughes at USA Today.
Awesome.
Dude, I went to the other side, man. I went to another universe. I had a whole re-evolution. It was crazy. It was a true ego death, said Max, the Austin-based author of the infamous Sex and Booze romp book, I Hope They Serve Better Beer in Hell. All right, so I hope they serve beer in hell. He said, you realize you're a speck of energy in this massive system. You realize you're completely inconsequential, and that means you can look at yourself objectively, unquote. Psychedelics first gained widespread popularity in the 60s and 70s, but went underground after being classified as a Schedule I controlled substance by the federal government in 1970. Today, their potential for use as a mental health treatment for PTSD, anxiety, and depression is gaining new attention after Denver and Oakland, California, decriminalized their possession, as we discussed in the last hour, and voters in Oregon and California in 2020 may be asked to approve statewide measures. Mushroom advocates see many parallels between their efforts and medical marijuana legalization that has now passed in 33 states and the District of Columbia. And of course, we know that recreational is also in about 10, I think, 8 or 10.
Right.
Medical experts say mushrooms can pose a danger to a small number of people with serious mental health issues, especially in large doses, but note they aren't considered physically dangerous or addictive. Mushroom enthusiasts, in fact, there's a chart that Professor David Nutt came up with in the UK that sort of charts the relative harms of the various different illegal substances out there. And mushrooms I think, are near the very bottom of that list. Like, they don't do a whole lot of harm to very many people.
How does one measure harm?
Good question. That's a whole other question that would take some time to answer. But they broke it into two categories: harm to the self and then harm to society. So like alcohol is very harmful to both the self and society because, a drunk person's going to go out there and break things, for instance. So more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico-Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico-Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico-Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you a prisoner? Are you stuck in a relationship where you're not allowed to do what you really want? Are you stuck in a job or business that sucks up your time and saps your freedom? That describes most men, but there's another way to live. I'm Caleb Jones, and my staff and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income, location-independent businesses and how to date women under your terms. Go to freelifeinfo.com to download 7 free books and podcasts so you can live a life like this too.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, TOOT.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And Ian.
And Derrick J.
And I want to tell you about the Edge wallet because it's the wallet that I use. I used to use Koinami, but I got lost in all of the keys, getting new phones, transferring phones, just starting new wallets from scratch. It was an unwieldy mess.
And you're an expert.
Yes, I'm heavily involved in cryptocurrency. And then the Edge wallet came along, which allowed me to just create a username and a password, a different password than what I normally use, but still just a password. None of that 14-phrase nonsense.
Right.
None of that. Just sign into the wallet using my PIN. Multiple accounts are supported, which Koinami used to do, but no longer does. Well, they still.
What do you mean by that? Multiple accounts? What?
Well, with the Edge wallet, you can have multiple accounts within the wallet itself. So I have.
What does that mean?
I'm explaining. I have one for me personally, and then I have the one for Ladies Night Out, which we're planning for 2020 for Fork Fest. Sort of how you would have the Space Disco account in the Edge wallet, and then your own personal account, and maybe an AnyPay account or whatever.
You can have different wallets for the same type of crypto, meaning that you can have a Bitcoin BTC wallet for this purpose, and you can have another one for this purpose.
Yes, except it's more like a user account with a computer or something like that, because once you're signed in as one user, you can't see the other account's wallets.
That's really good. So it's not like adding another wallet. It's like adding a whole, well, I don't know what the term to use is, but account is what you said.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's an excellent feature allowing me to keep track of the various accounts that should be and need to be separate and distinct from each other.
Well, you can have different wallets under the same account.
Yes,
but you can also have more than one account as well. So you can do whatever you want with that. It's pretty cool.
And
by the way,
you control your funds.
Yeah, and I just heard today that we're going to be having Paul Pway, who is the CEO over at Edge Wallet. He's going to be joining us on the air at some point in the next week or two, probably, to kind of tell us about some of the cool new features that they're putting into Edge. So I'm excited because I don't even know what it's going to be. So
they're great.
Yeah.
They are. I love the Edge Wallet. Go check it out. You can find it at edge.app. The tagline for the site is "Secure Your Freedom." So, as I understand it, they are at least economic libertarians.
I've heard things about Paul that suggests he is more than just an economic libertarian, but I don't know for sure.
Awesome.
It's just what I've heard.
Check that out. That's edge.app. It's the best mobile wallet I've found. I've used several, from Jax to Koinami, and I finally found one that actually does what I need it to do, and that is reliable. And if I get a new phone, all I have to do is remember my username and password. I don't have to sync it using a QR code or
long phrase that you might have.
Yeah, it's awesome. So that's edge.app. Let's get right back into the phones. We've got Mortified Penguin calling us from Virginia. Mortified, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, I wanted to call about the Unite the Right rally. But first of all, I was listening to the story about the open carry incident, and in a lot of states, and my state included, Virginia, open carry is legal, and it's not absolutely uncommon to see people open carrying handguns. When I read online from different people and obviously different places where it is totally legit, you always do run the risk of somebody calling the cops anyway, and they have to respond. So it's apparently a pretty common incident.
Well, busybodies love doing their thing. I mean, you've got a bunch of bored people with nothing better to do than, oh no, is that a person with the capability of defending themselves? We can't have that.
I kind of think open carry is pretty common where I live, to be honest with you. I mean, I used to see it quite a bit, and I know a lot of people don't get concealed carry, and I do believe a lot of people, even in like low income neighborhoods, like I'm honestly not the kind of people necessarily you'd expect to be your open carry, gun. It's not an activism thing. It's just something that's done in a lot of different diverse assortment of communities here. So I like to see that. I don't like to see it being some kind of niche thing, even though I don't personally open carry. Yeah, I would.
So what's going on with the Unite the Right rally?
Yeah, are you calling about the rally that happened in 2017, or is there another one?
Well, no, but the one in 2017, I was I heard a recent story about it today that just kind of brought it up, so I went and did some research and everything.
Okay.
Just because it was on the mind.
So just for our listeners who aren't familiar, this was Charlottesville, Virginia. There were a bunch of, let's call them white nationalists, maybe some Nazis, who went to have a conflict with the Antifa, or you could argue the Antifa went to have a conflict with them. It's really hard to tell who. I'm pretty sure they both wanted to conflict with each other.
Oh, yeah.
And the police were present, but they didn't really get in the way. And the police sort of stood back, and these people fought it out. It resulted in criminal charges for multiple individuals, including a former co-host on Free Talk Live, who we fired a couple of years before that, for being a racist. His name's Christopher Cantwell. All right, so what about it?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to kind of put the perspective of what occurred based on my research and what I've heard over the years, and as much source statements as I can, because there's a lot of ambiguous information about what occurred. That it was conservatives that were trying to protest.
So what do you think happened?
That. I mean, what happened was it was an event that was planned. Anti-fascist activists have doxed all the people. We know who was involved, and actually a lot of internet celebrities were there, but they had like the Discord records. I mean, it was planned for months in advance. Groups from all over the country converged on Charlottesville to make a stand over this, ostensibly over the. I mean, it's obviously over a lot of different things, but ostensibly over the Robert E. Lee statue that the local.
Oh yeah, that's what it was about. There was like a thing where certain towns were taking down, or cities or whatever, were taking down Civil War memorial statues in the South. And so that was what they were there. So, like, what is it that you believe you've uncovered that's new, about this that we don't already know?
It's not so much that's new. It's just that a lot of people have really interesting takes, and there's a lot of ambiguity that I think people say that, the people wanted to express their views, and they were conservatives, Trump supporters, but they were, as I'm reading here, people from the Daily Stormer, the National Policy Institute, Nationalist Front, Traditionalist Worker Party, Vanguard America, National Socialist Movement.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
They were like an awful bunch. I mean, what?
They were a bunch of Nazis. I mean,
they were hardcore white supremacists, ethno-nationalists, and this idea that I think a lot of people. Well, yeah, I think a lot of people actually do. I think there's a common view among a lot of people, family included, people I've heard in media included, people you encounter have this impression that there was a bunch of people that were attacked for expressing their views, but when you look at
well, I mean, isn't that
towns,
true? I mean, isn't that what happened? Those people
they
were
showed
attacked.
Up. They converged all over the country in order to make a stand and intimidate and use violence. They were very well armed. They had, including with firearms and whatever they brought with them. They weren't necessarily carrying firearms at the thing. That's usually
Mortified. Thank you for the call.
I'm not sure what he's disputing there. It was unclear.
I'm not sure there's ever been any dispute that it was Nazis fighting Antifa at Charlottesville.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was disputing. It's not clear.
Talk about whatever you want. 855-450-3733.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Hi, I'm Derrick J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derrick J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Take control of the airwaves with 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Ian.
And Derrick J.
And although we've been talking about shrooms, we also got into a bit of a discussion about cryptocurrency, in particular Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, which is convenient because that's what Bill from Butte, Montana wishes to discuss. Bill, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey.
Hey.
I've been playing with computers since the early 70s, which is when programming on UNIVAC 1106, learned how to write Fortran code, and got good enough with it that basically my diploma was given to me by the last instructor they had that could teach Fortran, and he told me I knew more than he did. So I know from experience that those mainframes that I was working on then were just as rock solid as anything could possibly be electronically or computer-wise. They didn't lose things. They didn't gain things. The computer that I was programming on had a neutrino bit error rate of something like once every 7 days.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. A neutrino error rate?
You know what a neutrino is?
I
do. Something very
it is a
small.
subatomic particle.
Yeah.
A neutrino is a subatomic particle that when it hits a silicon gate, it has the ability to flip it from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0.
Huh.
That's a neutrino error.
I don't believe that's correct.
And they happen.
Neutrinos
in
pass through
all
most
the
matter
time.
without having any effect whatsoever.
Okay, well, why don't you explain to me what causes a neutrino error?
This sounds way too high level for whatever conversation we're having here.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But you're the one that hijacked it off on neutrinos don't exist or don't do damage or anything. Neutrinos have energy, and anything that has energy can change the setting state.
Actually,
of a
you'll find that
solid
neutrinos
state.
have no mass and therefore no energy, according to Einstein's general theory of relativity.
Okay. If you want to hijack this conversation, goodbye.
Whoa.
You guys have a wonderful day in hyperspace.
Oh, what? Did he say have a wonderful day in hyperspace at the end of that call?
He did.
All right. Well,
he's wrong.
How about a
Neutrinos-
hyperspace disco?
Yeah.
Neutrinos are indeed
Now we're
massless
talking.
particles.
I wish I got to his point. I didn't even.
Yeah, I'm
what
not
was
sure
his-
what he was doing there.
I think
this
he
has
was
been the last two calls have been really
Before we got up
confusing.
onto that,
Is it a full moon?
Yeah.
I think the point that he was getting at was that Fortran and the computers that he was programming then were more solid than the programming languages and computers of today. That's what I think was the point that he was going to get at before he started spouting nonsensical scientific inaccuracies.
Okay, maybe tomorrow I'll get the point.
Maybe. So we've also got Gene, the Christian anarchist, on the line. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live.
Well, hello, everyone. I just got back from Europe last night, and I would have called from Europe, except it was the middle of the night there when you guys were on, so I was busy sleeping. But had fun. I drove around drove through 9 different cities in 19 days and got to go to Eastern Europe for the first time. But I made some observations while I was over there. And because, we're always hearing about how bad things are as far as the Muslim immigration in Europe. And I will have to say that in the main cities, there was a lot of Muslim immigration. It's been 2 years since I've been in Europe, and I noticed a lot 2 years ago. There's a lot more now. However, I didn't find any of them to be aggressive or abusive or rude. There were a lot of homeless, and Paris in particular, there was a lot of homeless on the street, a lot of tent cities under the bridges, things of that nature, very extreme poverty. But the people that I saw didn't seem aggressive. They didn't seem to be threatening in any way. They seemed to basically be people in need. And my wife even made the point that a lot of these people coming over there are coming over there to get away from basically situations that we created by bombing the crap out of their out of their countries.
Well,
Stop bombing those people.
You mean the American and British governments.
Yeah, I mean the imperialists.
Okay.
Yeah,
good. I'm glad you
So
weren't bombing anyone. I was worried there for a moment.
Yeah, I haven't bombed anybody that I know of. I mean, I might have photobombed a few, but that's about.
I think
about
that's
the
okay.
extent of
That's
my
not a
bombing.
NAP violation.
Now, how did you know that these people that you were seeing were Muslims?
Mainly by their dress.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, especially with the women. I mean, obviously the men are less difficult. I mean, they're more difficult to tell. But if they're with a woman who's dressed in that garb, you would assume that they're probably Muslim.
So they were wearing like a hijab or something like that.
Yeah.
The woman. Okay.
And there were a lot of people begging on the streets, but they didn't seem to be aggressive. But so, yes, there are a lot of people over there that are immigrating to Europe, but I don't see that they're super aggressive.
Well, what do you know? The immigration xenophobes that want you to hate immigrants are cooking up a story.
Well, wait a minute.
Surprise.
Who's to say that someone has to be aggressive to be and I don't want to say a problem, but like if they don't have your values, if they don't have like Western values of believing in free speech and freedom of religion and like all of the Western values that we just take for granted, then the culture can change.
It could. The fear-mongering, though, has been about these Muslim hordes are coming into Europe and they're creating these no-go zones where the police won't even go there. And
but isn't that true?
No, it's myth. It's a myth.
I mean, there's videos of it.
I have an answer for that.
In Sweden and Germany, there's videos of these places. There are interviews with the police there.
It's also true, however, that if you see somebody begging on the street from a different culture than your own and you help them, they're more likely to adopt your culture than the other way around, because your culture has literally created a person who charitably donated to them and helped them, whereas their culture did the opposite.
And I have an answer for that as well, because, I've mentioned before that we have patients who come to our office and the granddaughter will be, grandma is in a hijab, and then the daughter will have just a headscarf, and then the granddaughter will basically be dressed like an American. So you see the generations as they proceed down become farther and farther from the parents. And this is just a natural occurrence in human sociology. The children always rebel away from what the parents teach them. And that's true with the Muslims as well as with Christians or with any other situation. The children tend to rebel against the parents.
Maybe the children, but the way American society and Christian society in general have developed was that the children did, in fact, adopt the traditions of their parents. That's why Christianity is still a thing, You
remember rock and roll in the 60s? I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was rebellion against the parents. Remember, and then before rock and roll, there was the...
well, yeah, but my point about that was that kind of rebellion is temporary. And that once they reach adulthood, they tend to resubscribe to whatever ideology their parents had them under.
Yeah, I don't think it is temporary, because with each passing generation, there is a little bit of movement. And that movement adds up over the generations to what we have today.
Isn't that the argument that they use to keep the Islamists, the Muslims out, though? Is that they're going to influence our culture slowly and systematically over generations?
And there will be some influence. There's no question about that.
Boy, that's awesome.
But is the influence going to be negative or positive?
That's an excellent question.
What kind of values?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the call, Gene. It's always fascinating to learn what's actually happening in Europe from someone who is there. Give us a call. If you're quick, you can still get on the air with us. That number is 855-450-3733.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever you want. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Ian,
and Derrick J.
And who is this week's amplifier? Or who is today? I keep saying week. Who is today's amplifier?
It's
Ian?
Aaron, who is a Free Talk Live Platinum amplifier. That's Aaron with an AA, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron, for contributing as a platinum, which means he's doing $25 a month. Now, we only ask for $5, but wow, really appreciate those who certainly go above and beyond. But we appreciate everybody that amps the show. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It is a way for you to get behind what we do here on Free Talk Live to help expose new people to the ideas of freedom. And you can do it with PayPal, you can do it with credit card, you can do it with Bitcoin BTC over at amp.freetalklive.com, and you get some cool perks, some bonuses as a result of being an amplifier. And we definitely appreciate it because it helps us get this show on more radio stations around the country and bring the ideas of freedom and peace and liberty and cryptocurrency to more people around the planet and around the United States. So please do like Aaron. Go and join the. Well, you can do $5. You don't have to do 25. But if you got $5, if you got the price of a fancy cup of coffee or a nice cheeseburger that you can withhold and you can send to us on a once-a-month basis, it really makes a difference for us. So thank you for that. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. And before we go on with the calls, Derrick J and I were kind of getting into it during the break on these so-called no-go zones. You seem to believe that these things are real. The video, however, that you cited, a little bit of research that I just pulled up
to
says,
Wikipedia, the authoritative source of all information.
Well, they cite their sources. That the police who were supposedly interviewed in this video, relaying a claim about the no-go zones, that those officers claimed their quotes were taken out of context, and further, one of the people who worked on the film itself even said that the video was cut together unethically. So they're saying there are no no-go zones. There may be some difficult areas, but there's no prohibition on the police going to those areas.
Let's say you work for the police department and you're telling people on national TV in the U.S. that you're not actually pursuing criminals. You think that's going to fly? That they're just going to say, "Oh yeah, I said that, and I'm going to keep my job"? Like,
sure, they're
going to
have
to deny
that.
it. Yeah,
I think that's true. And
look at the videos. You can just see these places exist. They don't look like Europe.
Well, there's some crappy places in the United States too. I mean, let's look at Detroit, where there literally are officially policies from the police departments in certain areas of Detroit. At least one department shut down in the middle of the night. They don't have nighttime hours anymore because they won't go to whatever the calls are. And that's why there's that Threat Defense Center. That's the name of the place. That's why Threat Defense Center was created. I believe that's what it's called. Dale Brown.
Dale Brown.
Yeah. Where a private company sprung up in the absence of the cops and is actually providing real protection services to customers like businesses and neighborhoods and individuals who want to have various different levels of protection. Everything from training you on how to shoot to doing an occasional pass through of a neighborhood to full on 24/7 bodyguard services. So they've got the whole range of services that they offer to people. And so you want to talk about a no-go zone? Detroit. It's right here. And it doesn't have to do with Muslims. It's just a crime-ridden S-hole.
I just think it has to do with lack of values. Like, it doesn't matter what religion you are or whatever. There are people who value freedom. And freedom means, respecting others' freedom and freedom of speech. And there's these values that some people have and some people don't.
There aren't many of those people.
Yeah, and I want more of that. I want more people who respect freedom.
I want them to move to New Hampshire.
I think that makes a better culture, a better society, a better place to live. I think better things come from places where people have values of freedom and personal responsibility.
Absolutely. And Europe is not that place.
No. But it's there's a trend, and things are always either getting better or worse with regard to respect for freedom and people's philosophy. And I think it's pretty clear that Europe is getting worse. And places like New Hampshire are getting better.
I think so.
And places in the U.S. are getting worse. So, yeah, things are in flux, and there's a lot of freedom to be had here, as given the example that at the start of the show, where the cops saw Meade with a gun and totally respected that.
Yep, that's true.
Very cool. I was just going to let the two of you go at it about the immigration.
Yeah,
there absolutely were.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go to Max calling from the USA. Max, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, hello. I'm just saying my name is Max. I lived in Alaska for 31 years, and it used to be the freest state in the country. And that's a precursor. It was respectful. I mean, you left your cabins open. Nobody touched anything. They took their Bill of Rights right off the Constitution. Okay, let's drop that. I'm going to get to something very important. This is see the medicine. I almost died from doing that. Maximum dosage for a person with a healthy liver is 1,800 milligrams a day. I was doing it on top of hepatitis C from Vietnam. Okay. And I gained, one time I gained about 50 pounds. I was doing Lorceps. I was doing about 30, 40 a day. My doctor says, hey, I need to take
30 to 40 Loratabs per day?
Yeah, no problem. And doctor said I had hepatitis C. Didn't know. I didn't want to know because I knew I had
Were you
liver
selling
problems.
Lortabs in order to afford that
No,
habit?
I have never sold anything in my life.
How did you afford 40 Lortabs a day? Aren't those like 10? Are those 10 milligrams or 20s?
10 milligrams is the highest that Lortabs will go.
In Alaska, you can go to the doctor and get anything I want, and the prescription was $5.
$5?
Wow.
So I've never heard of these
that's
before
Alaska.
tonight. What are they?
It's a
just
hydrocodone.
It's a drug.
Well, it's 10
it's an
milligrams of
opioid.
hydrocodone, but it's only got 500 milligrams of acetaminophen. That's why we took it. Has less acetaminophen.
Well, it varies. I mean, they have different ones.
350.
So how many are you on now?
I haven't touched that. I haven't touched that drug since 1994.
Good for you.
When I found out
And
about it.
It's still having an effect.
Well,
no. I mean, I have F4 fibrosis because I had hepatitis C for 45 years, thanks to Uncle Sam. Okay?
Wow.
I'm 65 years old. Look,
Man, how'd you quit it?
I was born in... What?
How'd you quit?
The Lortabs.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a serious habit going.
I was also an alcoholic. I used to wash it down with beer. I was an alcoholic. I stayed sober for 15 years. Look, I only cleared me of hepatitis C2 in 2016.
You're not supposed to mix alcohol with
listen, I knew there was a problem with my liver when I was 26, okay? I was 26. It was in the treatment center in Alaska. They took my blood work. They said, if you don't stop drinking, you're going to be dead by 35. And guess what I did? 3 years later, I stopped drinking. I haven't had a drink since.
All right.
Okay.
You made it to 65.
So I didn't
All
know
right.
I had hepatitis C until 2003. Then the VA, 2001, VA gave me the drug to the pegylated interferon and the ribavirin, which is a chemotherapy. Guess what?
I'm losing you, man. You're just kind of rambling at this point. What's the point?
No. Okay. What's the point? Heroin. The reason they call it heroin. Number one, it's because in World War I, all the soldiers were hooked on morphine, and heroin was the answer to pre-addiction on morphine.
Right.
So, you ever seen the movie The Man with the Golden Arm?
No.
Frank Sinatra. Okay. In the 30s, if you were a heroin addict, you were not considered a criminal. You were sent to Lexington, Kentucky, and they put you in a federal facility, which is now called a prison, but it was open. They gave you Dilaudid, which is the chemical name for Dilaudid is hydromorphone. Okay? Hydromorphone is a synthetic morphine. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how they got the heroin addicts off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max,
thanks for the call.
Thanks for the call. Kind of rambling on.
He sounds like he knows a lot about drugs, though.
He does. I mean, there's no doubt about that whatsoever. It's just not interesting information.
My head is spinning. I found it interesting. It was just
too much information
processing.
Overload. Yeah, too much.
Well, let's go quickly to Matt from Aberdeen, Washington. Matt, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello. Hey, check this out. 9/11 happened 18 years ago. Okay, hear me out. We killed Osama bin Laden. We killed Saddam Hussein. We killed countless people across the Middle East. Spent trillions of dollars on it. Don't you think it's time to come home?
Why couldn't everybody just take some mushrooms instead and chill out, man? You know what I mean? All this warmongering. It's awful.
I agree. MDMA would be even better.
Yeah,
instead of fighting each other, let's just take these rulers, these oligarchs, and put them in a room together on MDMA, and they will work out their differences peacefully and not necessarily calmly, but they will work them out without killing each other.
Wow,
that would be such a good thing.
Well, it was a show.
It definitely
Thanks for being here.
Be sure to check out the archives. You can listen to the show again over at freetalklive.com and listen to the archive there going back more than a decade.
And check out helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Yeah.
As well. See you tomorrow.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. Go Dark Bags prevent location